know how it's ended to then, you know, when people just say, oh, I've watched it so many times. It's a film you have to watch so many times to pick up these little things. When the Don's youngest son, Michael, reluctantly joins the mafia, he becomes involved in the inevitable cycle of violence and betrayal. Although Michael tries to maintain a normal relationship with his wife, Kay, he's drawn deeper into the family business. What do you guys think of that?
Love it. Definitely my type of film. I'm such a big fan of like crime, mobsters, gangsters. I love
Drama.
these kind of films, yeah, because especially if it's not like, especially if this kind of film wasn't just all violence. It was a mixture of like dialogue, family drama, you know.
One thing I would say is that the film is 3 hours long, like I said before. It's quite slow paced, but then there's a certain point where it picks up and it gets you a bit hooked. Because I'll be honest, I watched the film in 3 parts. Not because I intentionally wanted to watch it in 3 parts, but I said I'll do it in 2 parts, but the second day I fell asleep, so it ended up being 3 parts. After I was on the second part, I was thinking, come on, like pick up, pick up, and it just wasn't doing it. But then maybe halfway through the second part, I was like, well, damn. I was like, well, damn, like we got a film on our hands. Because I saw Fahir send a message in the chat saying something about very happy that we're doing this film. I can't remember what you said, but you were like, this is great. He was just saying whatever, and I was not there yet, so I was just like,
I think I was like an hour and 24 minutes in, because I had got to there was a part where I said the film starts now.
What part was that?
That when Vito got shot.
Yes,
when he got shot, I said starts now.
That's the exact same point where I said, okay, we've started. Because up till then, I was just like still trying to figure out the characters, the history of the film. Like I was trying to put a lot together. Who's important? Who's not going to be important? There's just so many people that was coming across the screen that I'm not even gonna lie. I had to ask ChatGPT, listen, I've just seen so and so character. Is he important? Do I need to pay attention to this character? And obviously, it told me without spoilers. It would tell me whether I should pay attention to the character or I shouldn't, just because there was a lot happening and I didn't want to miss anything out. So it was kind of slow paced, but the way it kind of picked up and finished, I get why it's been called one of the greatest films of all time.
I've actually watched it twice. Well, I've watched 1.5 times because same reaction as you guys. An hour in, I was like, I even was gonna say, guys, I think we should go back to Final Destination. I was not feeling it at all. I wasn't following what was happening. And then I got to the end, I was like, okay, I can understand why this is the greatest movie of all time. But then yesterday, I watched it with my mum. My mum was like, I think you should go back and watch at least the first part again, just because. And honestly, the first hour of the
it's
film
even better now.
Might even be the best kind of part of the film when you, because I didn't understand.
But you have to watch it back to know how it's ended. To then, you know, when people just say, oh, I've watched this so many times. It's a film you have to watch so many times to pick up these little things, because the first time you're still trying to put together what's happening. You get to realization of what's happened. You've seen it all. Then you watch it again to see things that you've missed. Then you've watched it again to be like, I could tell why this decision was made. Yeah. I could tell why he said that. He didn't say. Just different. It's such a great film where they just leave like different mini eggs like everywhere, and you just have to watch it many times to kind of pick it up. Otherwise, that's why. How many years? What, 25, 30 years?
It's been a long time.
53.
Yeah, 53 years. Sorry, my maths. 53 years. So you can imagine how many times this has been viewed over and over and over again, and it's not coming down from one of the best films ever made. You would think a film that came out in 1972, by now there would have been other ideas, or CGI would have, like for example, when he did get shot, Don Corleone, I was just like,
he wouldn't have survived that.
That's what I was thinking. He's an elderly man. How was he surviving getting shot?
I'm thinking that's him done. So the fact that he survived that, and even the graphics, it's like, in this day and age, it could have been better. Yeah. But in terms of like the story, the plots, the little subliminals here and there, I'm like, there's no film that I've watched in recent times that's competing.
That competes.
Well, even
every scene is so intentional, and originally I was like, this wedding scene is about half an hour long.
Yeah.
I'm not. Why would you do that to your movie? It's so significant.
It's
now.
so
It
significant.
just brings you to all the characters, you know.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
And that's where we start off. There's key points that I'm going to go over through the movie so we don't kind of miss anything. And the first point is the wedding. And like Ash said, the wedding, you're thinking, why are we so fixated on his daughter's wedding?
Why are we watching all these people?
Yeah, why are we watching all these people, different conversations? And one of the things that I can remember picking up was, obviously, they were taking pictures and Don Vito Corleone said, where's Michael? Let's wait for Michael. So in my mind, Michael's an important sort of character. But the way the film progresses, you don't really see Michael after that for a little while. And that's done purposely to let us know that he's not actually part of the family business. This guy is away from it all, wants nothing to do with it, kind of has a different sort of view of life. And you can see that at the wedding when he's speaking to Kay, and Kay is asking him about his family, and he's like, that's them. You know when people do that with their family, that's them. Like, not me, man. This is what I'm on. Da, 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 da. And you think, oh, but he doesn't want to really be part of it. He's seeing the ugly side to it, and he's not trying to be involved,
especially because he's a war hero as well, isn't it? So
exactly.
He's not trying to mess up his own reputation, kind
exactly,
of,
by getting him
clean.
himself involved in that. But then from the wedding, I think there's also a meeting that goes on where different people visit Don Corleone, and you start to see how much he's respected amongst like different people and people's requests, and you just think, what's going on here? Like, you know. And the way he would talk so slowly, like he stuffed like, what's those things in his mouth?
Cotton balls, or I think it's tissue paper.
Probably tissue paper, but it looks like marshmallows.
He killed me. Like, I think it was even when the opening scene of the film, when that guy came to him about his daughter getting beaten up by these two guys.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't even come to me in friendship.
Yeah.
You don't even call me the Godfather.
You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. And the guy, I noticed like the guy asked, like, I want you to basically whack him. Kill them both.
Okay, yeah.
And he's like, that's
not equivalent.
That's not equivalent.
That's not equivalent.
So you already get this like sense of what his morals are. He's not great. He's gonna inflict violence on someone, but in the right way, in his opinion.
So then we see a key scene in part of the wedding where he's still having the meetings with people, and he gets his nephew Johnny Fountain. Not his nephew, his godson. Yeah, it's a nephew, godson. And he goes up to him requesting that, you know, he wants to be part of this film, but, you know, they're kind of shutting him out from it, and he really, really wants it, and all that kind of stuff. This is where we hear the key phrase where he asks him, so how are you going to get it done?
Yeah, go on, say it.
And he goes, I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. He says that. So from there, we've heard that line, that one line.
It's iconic.
We've heard it in different movies, different series. We've heard it everywhere. And I didn't know it came from this film.
Yeah.
I know it came from an old gangster film or something like that, but The Godfather specifically, I did not know that this line came from it. So when I'm hearing it for the very first time, I'm like, offer he can't refuse. Okay, how's that gonna look like? And we saw how it looked like.
Yeah.
With the horse head.
That was crazy.
Ending up in the bed.
I thought that guy actually got stabbed. I can't
Yeah.
He was just like, that's thinking, wait, they actually shoved up this old man.
Yeah.
I just see the horse head.
Did you know that the actor didn't know that was gonna happen?
No.
And he's been scarred from it ever since.
Was that a real horse head?
That was a real horse head from the dog food factory or something like that.
No way.
And the actor didn't know. And he thought they'd been practicing with a fake horse head, and he thought it was just going to be some blood, fake blood and whatnot. And it was actually a real horse head, and the actor was... that was a real scream. That was a real scream from him.
No, the way he was screaming,
yeah.
But I felt that.
That was nuts. But you could also see the way he Don Corleone operates. That wasn't the first sort of solution. Came to him, he sent Haynes, and it was more of a diplomatic, I think you should, cast Johnny, and he was like, I will never cast Johnny Fountain in a movie, and you're just thinking, okay, he's putting his foot down, and Haynes was like, he only asked once, like, he ain't gonna ask again. So I was interested to see, like, where it would go, and that horsehead thing just shows me, okay, cool, this is a man that will do anything that it takes to actually get his way. Like, he just doesn't business with anything.
That's too much power, bro.
So that's literally where we get introduced to like I said, Don Vito Corleone and who he is, and the actual actor Marlon Brando playing him. And what's interesting, what I've heard about Marlon is that they didn't want to cast him. Paramount didn't want to. The two best actors from this film, him and how do you say is it Al Pacino?
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino. I was gonna say Pacino. Al Pacino. Yeah, him and Al Pacino. Paramount refused to kind of like buy into that idea of them.
They weren't bigger names, innit? Apparently.
Marlon Brando, he had a bad reputation. He
Yes.
was really destructive on set, and
Michael was just
his
quiet,
previous
innit,
films
as well.
had bombed as well.
Yes, so I think
What films was he in before?
not Marlon. She's talking about Michael.
I'm saying
Yeah.
Marlon.
Oh, Marlon. Oh,
He
yeah,
was
yeah,
meant to be really
For Marlon,
destructive,
yeah.
and he's a big actor, but the last few films he done had bombed.
Yeah. He was like a legend, but you know, it's like almost when you get too big for your boots, where you start doing kind of like destructive things
Is
that
it
make
like
people not want to
larger
work.
than life kind of presence that he has?
Yeah, you make people not really want to work you. You're not really
It's
worth
like-
the hassle. Like, yeah, cool, you're a big shot,
It's like
but
Tom Cruise, isn't it? Like some people feel about Tom Cruise.
yeah, everything that you're coming with is just you're washed up now. That's kind of like the view is, and you're not worth the high salary. We hear that you mess up your lines. We hear that you're messy and destructive. Like, you're not trying to work with that. But the director, Ford Coppola, he literally just had like, I see the role for literally Marlon. I see Marlon as the Don, and you guys got to let me do this. And they allowed him to do it, and I think he done an absolutely great job.
I think the studio bought in. I think they either saw the tape of him doing the first scene, or they saw the first scene and they were like, okay, yeah,
We got
Vito Corleone.
to. But then again, we're saying this, but when I watched it and his mouth was full with the tissue or whatever, I did feel like laughing.
There was tissue. I didn't even realize there was tissue in his mouth.
I don't know if it's. I think it's tissue. I don't know what it
Because
was.
his lips. He was like,
He was only in his 40s, which is still pretty young, but the makeup and the prosthetics and the tissues in his mouth.
Of
gave him
course,
that, like,
and as
older appearance.
what they did so well is, as the film goes on, he dies as an old man.
Mm-hmm.
The makeup was amazing, because I'm genuinely thinking this is an 85 going on 90 years old person. I'm not thinking that this is a 40-year-old actor. So to do that in the 1970s, to actually do that with makeup and appearance, and actually get us to look at him and think, oh, this is actually an old man, that was great work.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even lie. But from there, we then get introduced to his morals, right? And we get introduced to his morals as there's a proposition from the Turk, Virgil Solozzo. And you guys know what the proposition was about, right?
narcotics.
Yeah,
They want to
narcotics.
shift onto drugs because obviously that's what's becoming the thing now. But obviously the Don doesn't really attest to that, innit? Because he just feels there's just too much risk with that.
He's
innit?
not feeling
Stay with the gambling, the women, the casinos. Like, this is safe.
And they made their money. Watch what I found very funny through olive oil.
it's crazy
Yeah.
when he said that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
olive oil. Like what?
Yeah,
mad.
he says something like just how he has a lot of the politicians in his pocket, and they can overlook the gambling, they can overlook the union stuff, but narcotics too
Yeah.
much.
And it's crazy because even when they were having that discussion, they were like, "Yeah, we can just give it to the blacks."
Yeah,
That
I
was-
red flagged that.
That was
There was two points
Two
in that
scenes.
movie where I just said that's a bit
Was
racist.
the other one is it Sonny? Johnny? I can't remember.
Johnny maybe.
Yeah, when he was at the table, he was sat and he said the N word.
Yeah, and I was just like,
I was thinking,
hmm.
Uh,
We're not gonna pass for that.
Set in the 40s or something. So
it was post World War II New York, innit? So
Yeah.
it makes sense.
So from there, we're introduced to his morals, and we realize, okay, this is an American high-level gangster. That although he's a gangster, this is a man that has principles, and he's not willing to, move over his principles for just money, right? But him rejecting that proposal kind of shifts the direction of the film, because for rejecting that proposal, he then asks Luca Brasi, who's like one of his main henchmen or his main guys, to go over and talk to Solazzo and kind of make it seem like
They got issues and that, innit? Just to get some info, see what's going on.
that he has issues with the family, and just to see what's going on. However, do you know who also shows that they're not in total agreement?
Sonny.
Sonny.
Yeah.
Sonny.
When he opened his mouth, innit?
When he opened his fat mouth to kind of say, oh, maybe we're interested. Yeah. don't do that.
Yeah, it's too
Don't do
impulsive,
that.
it's too
Because behind closed doors, as a family, we could speak. So like, I realize this movie teaches you a lot of lessons and a good like life principles that you should follow, or any sort of man that wants some sort of power or whatever, he could be principled around some of the things from this movie. And that is, behind closed door, as a family, you can argue. You could be like, let's do this instead of, but when we're going to talk to somebody that's not family, you have to have like a united front.
Yeah.
The moment that they smelled the vision is the moment they feel like, we can get in here.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Solozzo felt. So he knew that Luca Brasi was not the one that actually fell out with. He knew it was Sonny. And he's thinking, if we get rid of Don Corleone, then maybe I could work with Sonny.
Yeah, I could work with Sonny, yeah.
That's what he was thinking. Business purposes, right? But what happens when obviously he's hit? Sonny becomes sort of the caretaker. Don, would you say?
Probably the worst person to have in charge, man.
Yeah.
I think there's worse out there.
No,
I do think there's worse as well.
There's definitely worse out there, but just based on how this film was going and just seeing how Sonny was, I was like, this guy's gonna absolutely do a madness. Like he's gonna mess up everything.
I think he just wears his heart on his sleeve.
Innit? Like he prides himself on his family. Like he loves his family so much. Like he will go above and beyond, even when he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
He leads with emotion. He leads with violence. He leads with his temper.
Yes.
And that ultimately is what gets him.
His demise.
That's
what
ultimately
gets
his
him
demise.
murdered,
He gets
yeah.
a very violent death. And I think in his death, there's a toll booth person, and he like throws money at them or whatever.
Yeah.
And even in his death, he wasn't calm or anything. And actually, on set, they said, I'm jumping here, but when you are doing that, just walk calmly over to the toll booth. And then the actor said, absolutely not. I'm going to storm over there and throw money and whatnot. And I'm just going to be really violent in that scene. And yeah, it worked out very
So
well.
there's actually an actor called James Caan that actually acted as Sonny. And do you know which other actor
Did what?
who wanted the role, who kind of auditioned for the role, that got told no?
De Niro?
Yeah.
Who is it?
I guess
De Niro, Robert De Niro.
Swear.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? I look at Robert De Niro, I see his face. Even when he was from back then, I'm like, brother, it makes so much sense for you to be in this film. 'Cause wasn't he in Scarface?
He's in Godfather Part 2.
Godfather Part 2, he's in Goodfellas.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
in
he's in number two.
everything,
Yeah.
all the other gangster
Yeah.
films.
I haven't watched 2 yet, but when I was doing the research on that, I found out he actually then got a role in Part 2, but he was so desperate to be in this film. It's not only Sonny's role that he auditioned for. He auditioned for a bunch of roles, but it was Sonny's roles that he was closest to getting. But it was actually James Caan that got that role instead. And I think James Caan, as a hothead, was brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It was brilliant. Like,
I felt that older brother sort of,
yeah.
I'm going to protect you lot. Leave it to me, Dad. Don't worry, I'm going to sort it out. But you're not leading with strategy. You're not leading with like patience, and you're not playing chess. You're just behaving like a bulldog. Like you're just whatever. I'm getting to it. And like we said, that's what caused his death.
I did question him a bit throughout that film, though. Only like, with his sister getting abused in her relationship, and it's like you're just being man up. It's like you can't really kill someone. I don't feel like he has it in him to really kill.
Are you talking about Carlo or
Johnny?
Sonny.
Sonny's not.
Oh,
Sonny.
when Sonny beat up Carlo.
Yeah. Like Sonny for me is just like he's a bit of a just more loudmouth.
Yeah,
He's
did
not
we
really-
see?
he's
Wait,
not
did we
really-
actually? He might be right. Did we actually see him kill anyone?
I don't think he didn't kill anyone, bro. Like there was never a time where like he's having a gun or anything like that. Like, and for me, it's like if you're trying to be the
He
Don,
might be
Who
right.
would have thought at the beginning of the film that Michael would have a higher body count than Sonny does?
Yeah,
I had a feeling it would
Yeah.
because wartime hero, he has experience. In
but
the
they
fields.
all laughed. Yeah, when he said, I think they were discussing on how they're gonna go
They're
about.
gonna move,
They agreed that basically Solozzo and that police officer,
need to go.
they need to go. Yeah, because they're not gonna stop until Don Vito is dead. That's basically it. So when they've decided, okay, cool, we got to get rid of them. What do we do? And Michael literally just said, "I'll kill them both."
Yeah.
And they looked at him like,
They had that zoom in.
Yeah,
zoom.
yeah, yeah.
I had to check, is that the first time that's been done in film? It's not, but I think that elevated that kind of trope of zooming in the camera whilst I was trying to be serious, and then you look around and everyone's just burst out laughing.
Yeah.
You know
And
what?
that I see in
Yeah,
TV.
I'm
all
not
the
gonna lie to
time.
you. When he said it, I was even laughing because from the moment when the Don got shot in his back, there was scenes after that where I was looking at Michael and I was like,
when he came to the hospital.
yeah, even when he has the cigarette in his mouth,
Yeah.
and I think there was a scene where they were sitting around the table and they were just discussing stuff, he had a cigarette in his mouth. I was thinking, you look more and more like the Godfather. The way I'm just looking at you, like just your whole demeanor, your body language is just like.
I think it started from the hospital. Yeah. So when he gets to the hospital and he realizes that there's no one protecting his dad, it's almost like, and he carries the bed from one place to another, gets the nurse to help. There's somebody that wants to pay homage.
The baker.
The baker who was there at the start of the film. He wants to pay homage to him. He's like, okay, cool. We got to pretend that we got something on us and we're guarding him. There's people that are coming, that sort of thing. Yeah. The fact that he was able to kind of like predict that and be brave. The baker, you can see he's all shaking and everything because, you know, he knows it might go down. But Michael wasn't.
He goes to the baker goes to light a cigarette. He's shaking, and Michael just very steadily lights a cigarette for him. So I think it could be his wartime experience, and it could just be him. He's actually, I'm actually quite comfortable in this scenario. And he says to his dad, "I'm with you now, Pop," which I think was probably the turning point. I wanted to ask you guys what you thought was the turning point. I'd probably say that was the turning point where he's like, "I'm with you now. I'm part of the family business now."
I think the turning point for me is when he actually shot Solozzo and the police officer. That was the major turning point for me because it was brilliant. You could see, okay, cool. The Clemenza was going to plant the gun. He was going to, you know, shoot him. It's all well said and done that was the plan. But what made me doubt was the fact that they laughed, thinking that he wasn't capable. And also, you could just see it in his eyes where, especially just before he shot him, you could just see him thinking.
The adrenaline was starting to
pump. You visibly could see it. You visibly could see like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And he literally just stood up, bat. And I was like, oh, damn.
Clemenza did say to him, like, just come out of the toilet and shoot them. And for some reason, he decided he's going to sit
down,
and actually talk to them. And, like, it is as if he was coming to this decision. And once again, a lot more comfortable than what any of us thought, any of the family thought he was going to do. I was meant to say before, when we were talking about Marlon Brando, I think you touched on it, that they really weren't feeling Al Pacino at all. They thought he was like a mumbling, like very quiet. Yeah,
there was multiple times that they wanted to fire him.
And is the director in that you're talking about?
No, the Paramount.
The Paramount.
Of Michael's Al Pacino?
Of Al Pacino. And they really wanted to, but I think it could have been other scenes, but I think it was the restaurant scene where they were like, "Oh, no, we're on to a star here."
Yeah,
and now we've got.
It was
Al Pacino.
Yeah,
the suspense in that scene was crazy. Like from the moment he said, "I need to go to the bathroom," I said, "What's gonna happen now?"
Same. Like I was literally, my heart was literally in my mouth. Like I was just like, "What is gonna happen? Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do it?" And he did it. And for me, that was the turning point because that was his first kill that we've seen. Okay, wartime hero, but like Sonny said, he said, "Mike, this is not the same as just shooting people from
this is different, man.
Like 90 yards or whatever you shoot. You're literally going up to a man and boom, you're offing him basically. Can you do it?" And Michael stepped up for his family. Yeah. But in doing that meant he had to obviously run away. They made a plan that he had to go to Italy, Sicily, where the family's from originally. And he had to lay low there till it was safe for him to come back. It looks like he only came back when...
I just wanted to say before you continue, that bit where he went away, I don't know if you don't remember the scene when his wife...
So he gets married, meets a girl called Apollonia.
Yeah. And there's like, that was the one time where my hands were like this.
Yeah.
I said...
The movie had many moments, Ash. I won't lie to you. It had many moments.
There was 2 moments. That moment, I was like, what? And I also found out that she was pregnant.
Oh.
She was pregnant as well during that.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. But it really teaches you there is always betrayal within the circle. That's consistent throughout the film. The first betrayal, we'll take it in steps. But the first betrayal was Paulie, driver. Yeah. Why are you calling sick, mate? For how many days are you calling sick now? And coincidentally, you're calling sick for Don Corleone to get shot at. You obviously had information that it's coming, so you just pretended to be sick. And you can see that was dealt with clearly when I think the first action steps from Sonny was to Clemenza. Yeah, take care of Paulie. Yeah. That's the first thing you're gonna do. But again, that's also, you got to look at Sonny there and think, is that the smart thing to do? Because when we look at how Michael dealt with Carlo at the end, we know what Carlo did, but he actually made sure Carlo confessed. And once he did, he then decided to execute. But without answers, Sonny is like, yeah, take care of him.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if keeping him alive, you might have got more answers from who actually started it. You know, who's behind the source, so you can get to the answers quicker. But his first action was to obviously have him killed. Yeah. So that's betrayal number 1. Betrayal number 2 that we saw was Michael in Sicily. Like we said, Apollonia, she's blown up by a bomb. Apparently, Michael's supposed to be driving that car. It's supposed to get Michael. One of the guys that was around Michael, because he had this, I don't know how he got him, but this little crew in Sicily that he ended up following him. They know that he's son of a rich man, but I don't think they know to what extent that who he is. But he ends up having like a little posse or whatever following him about. And it's one of them that actually knows about the bomb. Because do you see him walk away when he
looked at him, innit? He looked at him and then just ran off.
And that's how Michael knew. That when he was like, where's Apollonia? She was like, oh, Michael. And he's looking, and then he shouts her name. And as soon as he shouts her name, boom. That's when I was like,
I couldn't believe it, bro.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I thought, nah, there's no way.
And then the third betrayal was Carlo, drawn out Sonny. Basically beating up, he didn't beat up the wife. He's been beating up the wife, but this scene was just about him cheating. And I was thinking, why is he like...
Okay, that scene was peak, man.
I've never seen a man just not give a toss. Like she was like, okay, why don't you invite her here? That kind of, because it's like you're making it so you're not even hiding, you're cheating. You're just plainly like disrespecting me. And she crashed out, but he knows that she's gonna crash out. He knows once she crashes out, that's gonna be his excuse to beat her. He got his belt out, started doing all that kind of stuff. He knows she's gonna pick up the phone, call her brother, and her brother's gonna come running towards them. Yeah. That's where he gets ambushed, and Sonny's hot head. He pays for it, and he dies.
Even that scene, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like when was it Tom that said, oh, follow him. I was thinking, okay,
he's gonna have backup around him.
But then it was like when he got to where he
the toll
booth, the whip, seen bear man jump up. I said, no way that happened.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
And then what I liked about that is just like it didn't like change the scene. It just kept it there.
Yeah,
different angles of one.
Yeah,
kept it there. And you're just like, and it's like you're just deep in it, like raw. Yeah. And then a couple minutes later, that's when his crew arrive. Comes and it's like, damn.
Too late now.
It's too late, man.
But that was another betrayal, and then obviously the last betrayal when it's Tessio that basically tries to arrange for a meeting with Michael and the family, and this is where Don Vito's told Michael that one of the
he said whoever you go with is your enemy.
Whoever comes up to you proposing this meeting is the one who is basically against the family, the one who's betrayed us, that sort of thing. And it's Tessio that does that. So that's like 3 or 4 stages that we can see. Like there's always betrayal within the inner circle, and that betrayal always comes from someone that has motive, right? So I'm not saying any of you guys are gonna betray me, but it's like it's good for everyone to kind of be on the same page. And to make everybody kind of feel included or inclusive or part of a bigger thing. I'm not sure why Paulie betrayed them, but I'm definitely sure why Carlo betrayed them, and I'm definitely sure why Tessio betrayed them. They both kind of betrayed them for their own like self sort of preservation. Yeah. Carlo never really felt part of the family. He married into it, but he never felt part of it. So it's like, all right, cool. But Sonny's beat him up already before, so he's just like, yeah, do you know what? I'm gonna get him. And I think Tessio just didn't want to be part of a sinking ship, so he's obviously tried to get down Michael. But yeah, those were key scenes that I actually felt like, oh damn man, why can't people just be loyal? That's literally how I felt, like why people can't just be loyal. But
man is out there helping you lot and everything, and you lot just want to stab him in the back. It's a bit crazy. Yeah.
How did you feel about like, because I thought Don Vito was down and out. How did you feel about as soon as Sonny died, he's like, they massacred my boy? How did you feel like, well, you seem to be fine now?
What, Vito?
Yeah. I was like, how are you okay now?
Was there not a scene where he said, I might be wrong, did he not say that he kind of not expected it to happen, but it was like it was coming kind of thing for his son, isn't it?
He said something like, because he was trying to tell Michael that your brother wasn't a good Don.
Yeah. And I feel like that goes back to his emotional side, and that emotional side is what represents the family.
He's emotional, impulsive. He doesn't talk. He talks when he should.
When he shouldn't.
So.
And then you have Michael. He talks when he needs to talk.
Yes,
Mhm.
literally. So obviously Vito comes back and he arranges like the peace meeting with Barzili and is it Tatalia?
Tatalia
Yeah.
Barzini.
Yeah, Barzini. So Barzini and Tatal. Say it again one more time.
Tatalia.
Tatalia, tongue twister. So he arranges that meeting, and the meeting's almost like a peace offering to say, let's stop this war. I've lost a son, you've lost a son. Let's just call it quits, shake hands, and move on. It's not going to work like that for them because they say, well, if you want to move forward, then this narcotics thing.
And obviously they wanted some of the political power as well that
Yeah,
he had.
yeah. That's to obviously cover the narcotics as well.
Yeah.
But they basically wanted to shake down everything Vito kind of had and said, we don't care about your morals. This is what you need to do. If you want to stop this war, then you have to get with it. That's basically what they were telling him. And he agreed under one condition, that Michael's allowed to return and that nothing should happen to Michael. If something happens to Michael, it could be an accident, it could be whatever, he's holding them responsible. Yeah. So that was his main thing. And he's done that to get Michael back because he's still not his old self. He's still not strong enough. He knows that he's going to need Michael to kind of take over the family business, right? So what I found so beautiful is Don Vito stepping back, but allowing Michael to still operate as the Don. And you can see that with certain decisions being made where Michael's made certain plays, and you can see both Tessio and Clemenza not really like with the ideas. I can't remember what Michael said initially, but they weren't really with the ideas. And they go up to Vito and they said, Vito, and Vito just like touches their shoulder and said, do you trust me?
Yeah.
Then he said, yeah, we do. Then listen to Michael. That sort of thing. And that just made me like, you know, when you could just see the baton has been handed and he's like, if it was Sonny, would he have said that to Sonny?
Hell no.
No, he wouldn't have. But he knows that Michael's in a place where this guy's closer to me than anybody.
Any of my children.
Honestly, he's like a mix of both, really. Like he's got the calmness like Vito, but then with Sonny, he can also bring out that crazy side, ruthlessness in it. I feel like he has that good balance, which makes him a good Don.
So when we see Michael move on to kind of like Don status, you can see there's almost like a physical change or glow to him. This is not the same Al Pacino.
But also because he spent like a good portion of the film with a battered face.
Yeah, maybe.
And then they mentioned that he did get surgery, plastic, I don't know.
But even
to
at the
fix
start
that.
though, he didn't have that bad face.
He was a bit he was a bit lifeless and like the
Yeah,
executive
he
said.
just seems like weak and just
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he had that Italian Sicilian
glow,
that
like
spray tan.
crazy glow. Like I'm thinking, is this the same?
Transformation complete.
Is this the same guy? Like the way he's talking, the way you can see him thinking, the confidence, everything. I'm just like, okay, this.
It's a man you don't want to mess with, man.
Yeah, this is the Godfather. At what point would you say, yeah, cool, Michael, he's arrived?
I think it was. No,
No, you go.
No, you go.
I was gonna say the meeting with Mo Green was when
Yes.
I noticed when he's obviously like Fredo has come. He's like, I've got you all these girls and whatnot, and he's just like,
He's another useless brother.
We don't need to talk about him. He's just worthless.
But it just reminded me at the beginning of the film, we hear about how Vito gets a contract signed, and then it's like Michael, he's like, well, I want the casinos, and then Mo Green's like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
I make you an offer, you don't make me an offer. And how does that end up? Mo Green, obviously skipping, but Mo Green dies during the baptism scene, but it's very much so like exactly what Vito would have done, probably a little bit different.
Yeah,
just that
maybe even more ruthless.
Probably, you sign the contract or you die. Vito is like, you sign the contract or I'm gonna put this in your head. But he at least gives you the option. But Michael's like, I asked him once, and once was enough.
And I think in that scene as well, I think he refers to Mo Green as slapping Fredo or roughing up his brother. And I think the way he addressed that, like, what, you think that's what you should do? That sort of thing, like, touching my brother.
See when a man's talking like that,
because this came from nowhere. That came from nowhere for me. He's like,
random, innit?
yeah, cool. So you made a public showing of slapping my brother. Okay, cool. All right, sign the deal. If not, cool. Not gonna ask again. And then the consequences, Mo Green being dead, like Ash said, is like,
that's why he said something about, he was having with the waitresses and whatnot. Like, I have a business to run.
Yeah, so,
Says my
but
brother.
I think the issue is, okay, cool, that's happening in private. Cool, slap up my brother or whatever. But he made a public showing, and I think Mo Green did that to say, we can disrespect the Corleone family and nothing's going to happen. It was a way of saying they don't run things.
I hear it.
Vito
It's a public sort of show. Yeah. Yeah, and I think Michael internalized that and said, yeah, cool, that's what you're doing? Cool. I'm gonna teach you a lesson. So I think we've just seen Michael just go through stages of like not wanting anything to do with it and a bit of innocence to just being forced into it with all these like bad things happening, Vito getting shot, his brother getting killed, his wife Apollonia dying. I kind of felt bad for Kay because he's just turned back up and said, yeah, let's get married.
That was crazy.
Do you know what?
That was so
I
mad.
literally had a debate about this morning with my mum. My mum's like, oh no, I think he still loves her. And I was like, I don't think so. I think you get to a certain point in your life as a man. I'm not a man. You get to a certain point in your life as a man. You're like, okay, I need to, especially when I'm trying to ascend, I need the wife. I need the kids. I need the family. I need the stability. I need to at least look like I'm taking some kind of route in my life.
Because Don Vito also said, any man that doesn't have time for his family is not a real man. Do you remember when he said that as well? So it's like you could have, at the start, Michael has his own sort of goals and operations, and he's all about Kay, as in his girl. What you're talking about, I feel like, is how do I create stability and family?
Yeah. Because
that will define me as a man with family. And I think what you're alluding to is he settled? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. My mum thinks he's still in love with Kay, but I was like, no, I think she's still single when he comes back. We had a connection. You're stable. I also think she's American, like white American, and he's Italian American, and it's maybe a little bit.
It might help
his ascension into
Yeah, but also I think Kay also reminds him of the old Michael.
Yeah.
He used to be like, and I think he still wants to keep that part of him, knowing that he has to be, he wants to, like, we all change, right? But you could also remember how you were once before. There's certain situations where I'm like, oh, I remember when I was like that. I remember what I was like, and I think that sort of nostalgia of like who you once were before you were turned is what Kay probably reminds him of. That he probably thought, you know what, I want to at least have this in the corner somewhere, but I know what I have to do for my family and I know my position. But I didn't think she was going to accept him with open arms, but she did. It was like a minute, 30 seconds of resistance. Oh, it's too late, Michael. Before you know it, it's like, before you know it, they're together and, they're married and they have a kid. And we even see his kid. He's the one that Don Vito is playing with before.
The timestamps in this film were crazy. Like, in terms of like, I was watching it, I was thinking, wait, where are we now in terms of the timeline? Because there's ways to skip, and I'm seeing kids, I'm seeing this. It was,
So we get to a point where during the film, I think his sister asks if he can be the godfather to her son or her child. I don't know if it's a son or daughter. Maybe son.
Let's say the child.
Yeah, child. At that point, I thought this would be significant. Can you be the godfather to? And he said, if he said, yeah, cool. Or if he said no, I wouldn't have thought anything about it. But he said, let me think about it. And when he said, let me think about it, is when it first popped into my mind what this could mean for Carlo. Because at that point, I'm thinking, when Sonny dies, we're thinking, did Carlo set that up? How did Carlo know? Like, these are the questions that are in our mind. But for some reason, it's not answered and it's just skipped over. And I see Carlo with the family. He's even saying, Carlo, when you go Vegas, you're going to be my right-hand guy. Da, 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 da. And you're thinking, I don't know if Carlo set this up or not. Like, are we just skipping over it? I guess maybe he didn't. He didn't have anything to do with it. That's what my mind is thinking. But I love the way the film just pulls it back and says, you're going to answer for your sins. Yeah? You're going to answer for this. Yeah. And that was such a relief for me because I had so many questions about Sonny's death. Like, was that a coincidence? Was that on purpose? So the fact that we're bringing it right back around, and I think Michael walks into the room and he's like, Carlo. And Carlo's like, huh? Like that sort of thing. And he's like, yeah, you're gonna tell me the truth. But before that, at the baptism, what happened?
That baptism was crazy.
He's denouncing the devil, denouncing Satan, but in the same breath, intercut with the baptism scene.
He's Satan.
Killing off all
These people.
5 of the families, all of anyone that might go against him. He's getting rid of them. But he said, and I thought this is where I was a bit confused. He told Tom Egan, I'll deal with them. I'll do this meeting after the baptism.
Yes.
And I was like, so did Tom Egan like kind of let it be known he's gonna Hagen. Okay.
Egan is from Power. Tommy Egan.
Okay. Okay. Hagen, did he kind of basically release that information? Michael's going to talk to you after baptism. We're going to set up a meeting. And was that also him double crossing, just making sure that, you know, Tom is also still in his circle, still a loyal member of his circle?
But I think he's kept that away from everyone, especially Tom. Because remember when he makes the change and he says Tom is not going to be no more family. Is it called consigliere? Consigliere.
Or consigliere.
Something like that. But I just took that to be as in head advisor. That's what I took the role to be. And he said that's not going to be Tom anymore. And Tom's like, why am I being like...
I did find that a bit mad though when he said to Tom, like, yeah, like, you're not really going to be the right man. I was thinking, this is probably like the one guy you want to keep around. That's what I was thinking personally, but it just seems like...
I kind of agreed with Michael, and we're going to get onto our questions about like styles and whatnot, but I kind of agreed with Michael because if you look at Tom is more of like a mediator and a more of a let's try and find a common sort of ground and let's put the business forward. I think Michael loved Tom, knowing that what he wants to do, most likely he's going to get some opposition from Tom, and also I want to keep Tom away from this. I'm about to do something so ruthless and so crazy. I'm going to move in ways that I can't even explain to him that he would understand. So I'm going to keep him away from it. I'm going to let him be the lawyer and handle all the law stuff, but the stuff, the nitty gritty, dirty stuff that I need to do, I'm keeping away from it.
I agree and I disagree. I also think because Tom's not Italian American, he doesn't have the same ruthlessness. He's an outsider to the family. So I think Michael's kind of realizing I don't know who, but I only really want this to be a family.
But Tom was loyal though.
He's loyal, but it's a culture thing as well. This whole film is steeped in like so much culture, from the wedding scene to scenes in Sicily. I think Michael was a bit like, I only want people that get it through blood, through soul, but you saying that, I think if Tom didn't behave the way he behaved around Sonny, because he was always saying Sonny, no, like Sonny, da, da, da. If that wasn't him, we've seen that dynamic of Sonny wanting to be ruthless and him just basically saying, no, it's just business, it's business. Even your dad, Don Vito, getting shot, that was just business. Tom is trying to say it's business, business, business and encourage peace. That was like, Sonny was not trying to hear that. And I think Michael probably would not trying to hear that. So I think knows that we're going into an era where I need kind of like a wartime advisor with me. Someone that's like on like what needs to be done, rather than a negotiator and a peacemaker. And I think he made that decision to cut him. You might be right, but I think if Tom had that agenda of, okay, I'm on this wartime stuff, I think he still could be the family advisor. I think so.
I think I'm with Ash, you know, on that one, because for me it was just like him kind of moving on. It's kind of like the start of a new regime, because the way he moved about things was the same as Vito. Essentially, like violence is the last resort. If we can talk, have meetings, then we can do that first. Yeah. With Michael,
he said nothing,
and Sonny,
enough
they're
of
not
that.
really trying to do any of that. Like it's a new era, it's a new regime. Maybe 10, 20 years ago that would work, but now we can't do that.
And I think Sonny was just a bit too fast paced, where Michael is.
You gotta take your time.
Yeah, you gotta take your time, but it's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
100%. Yeah. But take your time. Whereas Sonny was just full speed ahead. Just the same way I mentioned earlier. The Paulie, the driver. If you kept him alive, you could have found out who started all of this. But we could see Michael keeps Carlo alive for so long. And that even made me think that he had nothing to do with it for him to bring it back.
I had a feeling Carlo was going to get out at some point, man. There's no way you're licking down
his sister.
That's probably the wrong word to use. Hitting Amanda's sisters like that.
But you know, there's loads of deleted scenes from this film, yeah?
It's 4 hours long.
Yeah, and I'm seeing them pop up on YouTube all over the place. And there's one deleted scene where they're in the house. Carlo's fully shouting at the sister saying, I'm going to hit you. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And obviously Sonny's in the house, Michael's in the house, Don Vito's in the house. And obviously Sonny gets up, I told you about this guy. And Don Vito says, sit down to Sonny. He said, another rule, never get involved between a man and his wife. So even that his daughter is getting cussed out by someone else.
Values,
again, he's telling Sonny, sit your ass down.
Yeah, but you see, that's old school values though, man. He's part of the old regime, man. Like, the way
he is.
It's true. Do you know what's funny? My dad's a whole other issue. My dad said that to me the other day about, anyway, something else. But yes and no, but this is where I'm with Sonny, where I'm just like, my brother stepping in an abusive, possibly abusive or violent situation, I think is
okay. And who died?
Is necessary.
I mean, we know who
Sonny.
died.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Beat on. Sonny.
Like, imagine you being in that situation, bro.
No, I know, but why I say there's wisdom in it is at the end of the day, what does Michael do? Take care of Sonny, right?
Yeah.
And we see the last scene. You're wicked. You're this. You're that. She's going all hysterical on him. Despite what he's done to her, she don't care about that. She don't care that her brother's now sorted him out. You've made my son fatherless. You're evil. You're this. You're that. And she's hysterical, screaming.
Yeah, when I saw that's abusive relations for you, man.
It is abusive. It is because at the end of the day, she's in love with her abuser and all that kind of stuff. But now she hates her brother. Now she could even take vengeance on her brother. We don't know. I've not seen 2 and 3. I don't know what's gonna happen. It could be left there, but a lot of things can come from that situation where you're saying your brother took care of your spouse in a way that you didn't want him to take care of him, and now look, and there was another brother that paid for getting involved with his own life. Yeah. So there's wisdom in what Vito was saying. I'm not just saying just watch them get whacked up and stuff like that. But the way Sonny was going about it, he's just like, sit your ass down. You're gonna try and grips him up and do all of this kind of stuff. That's not how we're doing it. If we're to do it, then maybe there's a discussion or something. But it's not he fights her, then you fight him. Like he's saying, that's not going to solve this. There's other ways to solve it. So there's that. But I want to get onto that scene, where a significant film that solidified this film to be like, this is a top film, is when Kay.
At the end. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That scene was peak, man. I felt so bad for her, like, because it was just like, you're talking about the end, right?
Yes.
Because for me, that was just like, the transformation has been complete. The very thing that Michael didn't want to become, he has become it. And you know, like the transformation complete, and it's like he has literally thrown away his love for the sake of family and corruption, essentially now, like crime.
But I would see it as him trying to also keep what he has, because if he admits to everything that his sister was accusing him of killing all of the heads of those families and then killing Carlo, it's like this person that he said, I'm never gonna be, that's my family, this is that, he ends up showing Kay that this is me, and he's not scared that she'll leave him, but more than likely she might leave him and just say, this is not the life for me.
Yeah, but she's not dumb. Like, you could tell that she knows. Like,
she knows.
But she believed him.
She
it's only when
the ring gets kissed, right?
Yes, and it's Don Corleone, and the door gets closed.
Yeah, and it's just showing Michael has picked up a bunch of different new traits. One of them is lying and deceit, and Kay is now realizing, like,
she's thinking, this is my honest husband. That, like, from the start, you could tell he's a very honest person.
Yeah.
And it's like, my honest husband, he doesn't lie to me about anything. He's always straight with me. I'm asking him a direct question, and he's lied. I want to believe that he's telling the truth, because he literally just said, tell me it's not true. It's not true. And you can see, okay, because he doesn't lie. And then when she sees him, the ring getting kissed, and it's Don Corleone and the door closed, it's like, damn. I heard what you said, but my gut and my instincts and everything else is telling me you're not the man that I thought you were.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And when that kind of closed off the film, I said, yeah, this is a GOAT film.
Yeah,
it's a GOAT film. This is too much for me. And I'm coming back to watch it again and again and again and again. I'm not going to be bored of this film. It justified, like, it's up there.
I'm not gonna lie to you, for a film that's nearly 3 hours long, it did, like, that was the most fun I've had. Like, I've compared it to watching Oppenheimer, because that was the last film I watched that was, like, damn near long as well. And I enjoyed this one way more than Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
I feel like I could have done a little bit more, because it felt like
I could have had more. I could have had more.
Series.
And
I feel like every single scene was just was
Different.
just gold and so intentional and everything. Yeah, it was really good. And I think, like I said, I wasn't initially crazy about it right in the beginning, and then we got to the end and I was like, okay, this is a great film. Watch again, great film. But I think the biggest takeaway I had was how much this has influenced cinema going forward. I don't think we'd ever have any of the gangster gang organized crime type TV shows and films that we have now. I'm currently watching Mobland on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
Shout out Paramount because they've brought us two
Yeah,
great
they have produced this one.
and without the Godfather, we wouldn't have that. We wouldn't even have like Succession. If you've ever watched Succession, we wouldn't have The Sopranos, anything. It changed cinema.
It was almost
forever.
like it was the blueprint for all sorts of gangster films to follow from that.
And a big one is Dune. Since we've done Dune on the podcast, that whole anti-hero, it started the whole anti-hero trend where we're rooting for someone who's actually technically
Evil.
not a good person. He's a murderer, he's a liar, he's deceitful, but we have to root for him.
Yeah.
And it's just started this new trend in cinema of having an anti-hero, someone that's not actually technically a good person, but we have to root for them. They are the protagonist. It's crazy.
No, I agree. Just before we close it off, I gave us like a little sort of task, out of all the guys, so we've got Don Vito, Michael, Sonny, Fredo, and Tom Hagen. Out of these guys, who would you say your leadership styles are more similar to, one, and two, where would you rank these leaders in order?
You wanna go first?
I think there's two of them who I feel like for me. One of them is, I definitely say Vito.
Okay.
I'm not one for violence. I'm a big guy, but I hate violence. If I have an opportunity to speak, I'd rather us speak, iron things out to avoid all that unnecessary palaver. Because I was thinking about Michael, but I was like, Michael is ruthless. He's too ruthless. And so if it's not Vito, then I would say Tom. That's another one there. It's got similar traits to Vito, so I don't really think I need to go into that too much. But not to be honest for too long. Leadership rankings, I've got Michael Corleone number 1, Don Vito Corleone number 2. Am I saying his name right?
Yeah, either Corleone or Corleone. I've heard both.
Tom Hagen at number 3, Sonny at number 4, and then Fredo.
Yeah, useless guy.
I'm the same, except for I've got Don Vito on top.
Oh yeah,
Michael.
I was a bit. I don't know about who to be.
I'm going Don Vito on top.
I think he's got a really like intelligent understanding of human nature, and he's very risk neutral. He'll do some illegal stuff, but he's not going to go into narcotics. I don't think that's a good idea. He believes in family. He's very big on family, and that being the kind of the root of like success. So I would put Don Vito on top. I'd probably say I am kind of Don Vito. I actually see a lot of myself in Sonny, which is maybe not a good thing.
You know what?
Fiercely passionate about when it comes to my family and stuff like that.
I go add Sonny in there, add Sonny in there. But he's way too impulsive. I don't think I'm that
he's
impulsive.
very, very impulsive. I think for me, I would say I'm closest to Don Vito. But if we're doing the rankings, Don Vito and Tom Hagen. I'm closest to both, and I'll say Tom Hagen just because always looking to like negotiate, like, all right, it doesn't need to escalate, guys. What's your point? All right, cool. That's how my style is, right? Yeah. But I would say closer to them two. But the rankings, I'm putting Michael on top because one of the weaknesses I feel like I have, or one of the weaknesses that Don Vito has, is what got him killed. Is, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but sometimes when you're willing to die on your morals, it's like that's sometimes not a good thing.
It's a downfall.
He, like, everything that happened was just because he didn't agree to the narcotics thing, and that was just his principles. Like, I'm just not doing it, and he was willing to die on it. I don't necessarily think that's a strength. Sometimes we only get one life, and you should preserve your life. Some people that want to die about, I'm not saying just willy-nilly go into narcotics, but when you know what's at stake, I think you should just say, do you know what? I'm not going to be championing this, but if this is the direction that we're going into, then so be it. We're still part of a mafia sort of we're not do the things that we are doing are not even legal anyway. So I'm just gonna waive it rather than cause all the harm to my family because I've decided to stand on my morals. But where Michael, I'm putting him on top, is that it's not necessarily about morals with Michael. It's about the end result. It's about doing anything that it takes with a bit of calculated patience as well to get his outcome. So I'm like, Michael for me is the top, but I'm close to Don Vito and Tom Hagen. But yeah, before we close up, did you get any numbers?
I actually did, just in case you asked. So the budget was 67 million. Obviously that's nothing in today's standards, but that was massive. And Paramount were not. You probably heard Paramount were not happy with Coppola. That wedding scene ate through a quarter of the budget, and
really,
he said 3 days of filming, and it took up to like 2 or 3 weeks of filming because
the wedding.
Because of wedding conditions, and they were like, he kept asking for more money. They weren't happy, but it was a blockbuster box office success, highest grossing film of 1972, widespread critical acclaim, greatest and most influential films of the time, particularly the gangster genre. And then on IMDb, it's number 2 out of the top 250. It's topped by Shawshank Redemption. Rotten Tomatoes, it's number 1 out of the top 300, and Metacritic number 11. So yeah, good video.
No. Thank you for his.
I think Final Destination is like number 3 or something.
Oh
whatever.
God.
Yeah, I do.
Anyone said anything?
I do have. I've only got one actually, because I'm not gonna lie to you. This film was too good for me to even look at a bad review.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to waste my time there. Because if you think this movie is bad, then you just lack taste.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
100%.
Get sorted. So yeah. So for the fact, I don't really think I've done this before, but I've actually got a 10 out of 10 review. They captioned it one of the best of all time. A masterclass in filmmaking. Is The Godfather a contender for best film of all time? I'd argue that is the case. This is the ultimate gangster movie. Before you panic at the thought of a film being almost 3 hours long, which is what I was doing, you needn't. You won't even notice the time; it flies by, and that's facts. Production values are incredible. It looks sublime the whole way through. It's well produced. At roughly 50 years old, it puts many new films to shame. Brandon Pacino and Castellano, I think that's how you say his name. Just a few of the incredible performances that were done. I could add a whole lot more. If you're considering buying a hard copy, I would recommend it on Blu-ray. It is sharper than a DVD. There is a difference. The film has a huge influence down the years, and it still is and will forever be one of the greatest. 10 out of 10.
Lovely. And to be fair, go on.
Sorry.
No, you go.
Oh no, I just want to go down a different angle of just I've asked ChatGPT how did it actually change cinema, and it was just saying it humanized the gangster, as gangsters were usually villains, ruthless, like nasty criminals. Elevated gangster film because it used to be more pulp entertainment, like sensationalized stereotypes, whatnot. The way it was shot with the muted tones, and it was very dark at times. Didn't love that. And it also changed Hollywood power dynamics, and without The Godfather we wouldn't have Martin Scorsese, a few other directors, because Coppola was so involved in the film process. Before, directors had a bit of distance from the actual casting and everything,
but he was involved all the way. He was
involved, and he was so particular about what he was going to do, and that completely changed filmmaking and directing going forward, of just being so involved, being so I guess aggressive in what you wanted, being really, I don't know what the word is, but yeah.
So what would you say our movie club rating is?
Are we starting a new leaderboard? Should we start a new leaderboard?
What for this sort of series that we're doing?
Yeah, throwback.
We can't pull it in.
No, we can't.
This is different.
With,
this is strictly throwback films.
Yeah, cool.
And Barbie, we can't put it in.
No,
we can't.
This film is.
I'll go first. I'm giving it a 9, solid 9.
9.5 for me.
9.5.
Okay, here's the thing: is that my enjoyment of it was at about an 8.5, but knowing what it's done for cinema, and knowing that at the time this would have been the best movie I've ever seen. Now I've probably seen some more things that's really developed the genre, but if I had watched it in 1972, it'd probably be a 9, 9.5. Right now in 2025, I'm gonna give it 8.5. But I think I'll watch it. I'll probably watch it for for the rest of my life. Like I'll probably keep
Revisit
rewatching
it.
it. So it could easily go into 9, 10
That gives us an overall score of a 9.
I think she will change her mind if she heard the other 8.5s that we have maybe for the movies.
It's true. It's true. If we bring up our 8.5 list,
here's the thing: this is on throwback retro movies.
because I know
only.
Creed is there.
And then the thing is, we'd have to watch a lot of 1970s films, and also I thought we could watch a few more gangster films, Goodfellas, Scarface, that kind of thing.
Okay, guys, that's it on the Movie Club UK. I hope you've enjoyed this special episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We hope to see you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.